거죠. 먹어도 끝이 없는 나라. 감당할 수 있겠니?
Coming up on Arirang News. Heavy rains once again drench South Korea while many regions still suffer from the damage caused by previous downpours. Southern parts, especially Jeollanam-do province, hit hard. Despite inflation cooling down, consumers in South Korea are feeling the pinch as prices of some major grocery shopping list items are on a dramatic rise. This especially in the weeks to come after heavy monsoon rains. A U.S. nuclear-armed submarine makes port at South Korea's Jeju Island ahead of the Korean War Armistice anniversary. This is the second deployment coming just days after the first one visited amid escalating tensions with the North. Good evening. It's 9 p.m. here in Seoul. Thank you for joining us on Arirang News. We start with South Korea still under a monsoon front. Continued heavy downpours soaked the nation again, especially the southern parts of the country, while many areas are still reeling from damage caused by the previous ones. Also, an investigation is underway regarding the Osong underpass tragedy. Our Choi Soo-young leads us off.
Heavy rainfall has been pouring down in the southwestern part of South Korea as of Monday morning, up to 20 mm per hour, resulting in serious damage to the area. According to the Korea Meteorological Agency, Jeollanam-do province has been the most affected and is issuing alerts on a real-time basis. Additionally, the presidential office also mentioned that it's currently taking a closer look into the extreme weather hitting the peninsula due to climate change.
President Yoon Sung-yeol told Prime Minister Han to make sure to rearrange the disaster response system by operating a task force involving relevant agencies.
Since the heavy rain began on the 9th, approximately 10,000 residential and commercial facilities have collapsed, and the area of agricultural land damage is estimated to be around 350 square kilometers, which is 100 times larger than Central Park in New York. Nearly 20,000 people affected by this have sought shelter, and among them, 2,500 individuals are still unable to return home. Officials stated that about 70% of emergency recovery operations in the affected regions have been completed, and volunteers and military personnel are being mobilized from all over the country to assist those in need. On Monday, following the tragic underpass flooding in Osong, prosecutors conducted search and seizure operations at 5 public agencies, including the Chungcheongbuk-do Provincial Police Agency and Cheongju City Hall, as part of an investigation into potential negligence and inadequate response. The Office for Government Policy Coordination also revealed that during the disaster probe, significant dereliction of duty allegations were made against officials from the Chungcheongbuk-do Provincial Office, the Road Management Office in the area, and the National Agency for Administrative City Construction. The Coordination Office is currently inspecting all relevant agencies and will promptly initiate additional investigation if any serious allegations emerge during the process. Choi Soo-young, Arirang News.
Despite the easing inflation, consumers in South Korea are feeling the pinch as prices of some major grocery shopping list items are on a dramatic rise. This especially in the weeks to come after heavy monsoon rains. Our Moon Hae-ryun tells us more.
Consumer price rises in South Korea seem to be cooling, but there could be more price volatility amid the recent torrential rainfall. According to Statistics Korea, the consumer price index for daily necessities was up 2.3%, the smallest increase in 27 months. The index consists of 144 items often bought by consumers, reflecting how consumers actually feel inflation. However, despite a slowdown in the CPI for daily necessities, the prices of some agricultural goods are seeing a dramatic rise. Korea Agro-Fisheries and Food Trade Corporation said that vegetable prices have increased after crops were damaged by the recent flooding. As of last Friday, prices of green lettuce rose 398% compared to 4 weeks ago, while red lettuce jumped 343%. Prices of spinach too rose 214%. Now August may see scorching heat, and in September typhoons are typically expected, which means there could be more volatility in agricultural prices. With many Koreans looking to buy vegetables to eat with samgyeopsal or grilled pork belly as a staple summer dish, they're feeling the rise in prices more than ever.
The cheap vegetable corner that used to be here is now gone. They used to sell lettuce at around 991, but it's gone now. And the lettuce that used to be around 1,801 has jumped to 6,801. I'm going to have to eat something else with my samgyeopsal today because it's so expensive.
The South Korean government, however, says that inflation is expected to continue slowing down despite the recent volatilities, adding that it will work to stabilize the prices of food and daily necessities. Finance Minister Chu Kyung-ho on Friday said it will focus on vegetable supplies and support a crop reseed amid heavy rain. As you can see here, the government is providing up to 30% discounts for chicken and vegetables to combat rising prices. They will also import 5 million hatched eggs to stabilize chicken supplies. Moon Hae-ryun, Arirang News.
Talks have reportedly begun between the United Nations Command and North Korea regarding the U.S. soldier who recently defected. This is according to the deputy commander of the UN Command speaking at a briefing on Monday. They explained that the conversation had been initiated and was conducted with Pyongyang's military through a mechanism established under the Korean War armistice located in the Joint Security Area. He also stressed that the primary topic of concern was the welfare of the U.S. soldier. Travis King, an American soldier serving in South Korea, crossed the border into North Korea last week during a civilian tour of the border that separates the two Koreas. An investigation into how King was allowed on the tour is currently underway as he had multiple disciplinary incidents and served time in detention. Another American nuclear-powered submarine has arrived in South Korea. This is the second deployment of a major U.S. naval asset to the country this month, adding to the Allies' show of force against growing threats from North Korea. Bae Eun-ji has more.
A 6,000-ton nuclear-powered submarine, the USS Annapolis, arrived at a port on Jeju Island on Monday, 3 days after the USS Kentucky left Busan after staying for 4 days. South Korea's Navy explained Monday that the submarine is here to load supplies, but hinted at the possibility of conducting military training.
The purpose of the deployment of the USS Annapolis is to load military supplies during its mission. Marking its visit, the naval forces of South Korea and the U.S. plan to strengthen our combined defense posture and conduct activities together in commemoration of the 70th anniversary of the two countries' alliance.
The USS Annapolis, a Los Angeles-class fast attack submarine, is 6,000 tons when surfaced and nearly 7,000 tons when submerged. Based in California, it is 110 meters long and can move at a speed of more than 25 knots, or 46 kilometers per hour. Attack submarines are designed to seek and destroy enemy submarines and surface ships, and Los Angeles-class submarines carry weapons like Tomahawk land attack missiles. The arrival of the submarine comes at a sensitive time as North Korea is set to celebrate the 70th anniversary of what it calls Victory Day on Thursday, marking the day the Korean War armistice was signed, July 27, 1953. There is the possibility that the North may hold a large-scale military parade or carry out more missile tests, as the regime warned last week that the deployment of U.S. nuclear assets in South Korea could meet the conditions for the use of nuclear weapons. Raising tensions even more, its state newspaper said Monday that improving military power is never enough and stressed the need to expand power quickly at all costs. One expert says the North may go on with parades and missile tests, but says he does not expect any kind of direct actions just yet.
In unconventional warfare, when you are in the weak, you do not attack. So they're waiting until they have the ultimate capability, which is to strike the United States with nuclear weapons. And until then, they will not use their final card.
The same expert noted that once the regime is confident of its nuclear capability, meaning it can strike the United States, there will be more than just talks or simple tests. Instead, the regime could engage in direct provocations to get South Korea and the U.S. to the negotiating table under their terms. Hyun, Arirang News.
South Korea's counterterrorism agency confirmed that it had found no connections to terrorism in the thousands of unordered parcels from overseas arriving in Korea in recent days. Nevertheless, a joint investigation with Interpol is underway. Lee Si-hoo reports.
The over 2,000 unordered parcels that arrived in South Korea from overseas in recent days are not connected to any terrorist activity, according to South Korea's Office for Government Policy Coordination, which said its counterterrorism body had found no connection to terrorism. The National Counterterrorism Center, led by the Prime Minister, found no confirmed cases of injuries or threats in relation to the shipments. But it added that cooperative investigations with the International Criminal Police Organization and other investigative organizations overseas are underway. As of Monday morning, over 2,100 reports of mysterious parcels were reported to the police, of which over 1,400 were simple consultations or false reports due to misunderstandings. The police have collected over 600 parcels and are conducting a thorough investigation into them. Most reported envelopes were delivered empty or with small products such as lip balm or toothpicks enclosed. Reports of suspicious shipments began last Thursday in the city of Ulsan. At a facility for the disabled, 3 people opened an envelope presumed to have been sent from Taiwan and experienced headaches and difficulty breathing. They were sent to hospital for treatment and are in good condition, but police are still warning the public to never open such parcels and instead report any yellow or black-colored envelopes with Changhua Post and a sending address in Taipei, Taiwan written on them. While most packages appear to be from Taiwan, Taipei's embassy in South Korea said it had found that the parcels in question were originally sent from China and arrived in South Korea after a stopover in Taiwan. Seoul's foreign ministry has reached out to its Chinese counterpart as well as the relevant authorities and local governments and requested confirmation of the details regarding the suspicious packages. The Chinese authorities said that it's currently conducting an investigation into the matter. Lee Si-hoo, Arirang News.
The death of an elementary school teacher, an apparent suicide last week in Seoul, has shocked many. It's now triggered controversy over the Student Human Rights Ordinance as President Yoon today ordered measures to address teachers' authority being violated in classrooms. Our Kim Do-yeon has the details.
President Yoon Suk-yeol has called for measures to protect the nation's teachers and their rights in the classroom as he met with his top secretaries on Monday. This comes as a public elementary school teacher appeared to have taken her own life in her classroom last week after reportedly being under huge stress from her students' parents. The top office says by next month there will be clear guidelines set by the Education Ministry that meets the current education laws and stance of the presidential office in terms of teacher authority when it comes to guiding students.
The president instructed the Ministry of Education to promptly prepare specific guidelines to reflect the revisions of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act and its enforcement decree.
Strengthening teachers' rights has been a core task for the Yoon administration since its beginning. Last year, the public education law was amended to allow teachers to educate students on behavior, while in June, a decree was revised to give teachers the right to comment on students' character.
Since its inauguration, the Yoon administration has consistently pursued a policy of strengthening teaching authority. It's based on the policy's philosophy that establishing conditions justifies the education being given and, in turn, benefits the students.
President Yoon also ordered a revision to unreasonable educational ordinances that allow a teacher's authority to be violated. This is an apparent reference to the Student Human Rights Ordinance introduced in 2010, banning certain disciplinary measures and removing constraints on personal items carried into schools and the use of mobile phones. It's currently adopted by 7 regional education offices, including Seoul's, but has been criticized by some educational experts for taking away teachers' rights in their classroom. However, it has remained controversial as it was pushed by left-leaning educational experts and politicians. On the other hand, some of the teachers were quoted in local reports as saying that while the ordinance could allow certain violations to happen, it is not the fundamental problem to the situation at the moment, and a more deep discussions are needed. In the meantime, the teacher who appeared to have taken her own life was a 23-year-old woman in charge of first graders at Seoul's Hoi Elementary School in southern Seoul. Ever since her death, teachers across the nation have shown their anger towards the current system while calling for change. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
Shifting gears, the number of travelers using South Korea's main gateway, Incheon International Airport, is expected to peak during the first weekend of August. Incheon International Airport Corporation said on Monday that it expects to see 3.9 million passengers using the country's main gateway during the next 3 weeks of the summer vacation season, starting Tuesday. It added that August 6th will likely be the most crowded day, with more than 191,000 people using the airport. The number of tourists using the airport during this summer is projected to recover to up to 86% of that of pre-COVID levels seen in 2019. A Russian missile strike on Ukraine's southern port city of Odesa severely damaged a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the city's largest Orthodox cathedral. Ukraine's Culture Ministry said Sunday's attack, which killed at least one person and injured more than 20, also destroyed or damaged 24 other historic buildings. In a statement, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned Moscow's latest aggression, saying those injured in the strike included children, and vowed retaliation. Russian missile attacks on Odesa have persisted throughout the past week, with it targeting Ukrainian food export facilities following its termination of the Black Sea grain deal. Here in Seoul, a special exhibition is underway to commemorate the centenary of the birth of Korean painter Rhee Sang-wooc. Lee, known for his unique abstract art styles, was one of the pioneers who brought printmaking to the forefront of post-war Korean art history. Our Shin Se-byuk has a look.
With every brush stroke, a piece of hometown and a longing untold. These are the works of Korean abstract painter Rhee Sang-wooc. The exhibition Isango, the Centenary, is being held at Hakgojae Gallery in central Seoul to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the late Korean artist's birth. He was born in 1923 in Hamhung, now in North Korea. In 1947, he moved to Seoul and was unable to make it back to his hometown due to the outbreak of the Korean War and the later division of the peninsula. Following that separation, Yi poured his emotions and feeling of nostalgia and longing for his hometown onto the canvas. Another theme that can be easily found among his work is monologue. His unspoken thoughts and answers to untold questions are transformed into abstract forms. In post-war Korean art history, Rhee Sang-wooc was a pioneer who brought printmaking to the forefront. He was also an artist who charted his own path while distinguishing himself from the prevailing trend of dansekwa, or Korean monochrome paintings, in the late 60s and 70s by featuring his own abstract styles.
His works are very different from other dansekwa, Korean monochrome paintings. He has two abstract idioms. One is lyrical abstract art. The second one is calligraphic abstract art in his work.
His work conveys vivid colors and bold lines. At the same time, everything is expressed in abstract form, such as squares for calligraphic abstractions and circles for lyrical geometric abstracts. His unique and idiosyncratic abstraction styles have garnered attention since last year, when he was one of the 7 artists showcased at the gallery's exhibition, featuring works from the mid-20th century. The current exhibition marks his first solo exhibition in 26 years, bringing his lasting legacy to art lovers' attention. This exhibition will run until July 29th. After that, his works will be presented at the Frieze Masters section of Frieze Seoul, an international art fair, in September. Shin Se-byuk, Arirang News.
Naver Webtoon's Lore Olympus has won the Eisner Award for Best Webcomic for the second year in a row. According to Naver Webtoon, this is the first time that a webcomic has secured this honor consecutively since the Best Webcomic category was established in 2017. Lore Olympics, drawn by New Zealand artist Rachel Smythe, sets characters from Greek and Roman mythology such as Hades in modern settings and has garnered much popularity among the English-speaking audience. The Eisner Award, established in 1988, is considered the most prestigious award in the U.S. comic industry. Also in the art scene, a museum in Boseong County is redefining traditional works of art with modern technology. Our Jung Eun-ju shows us how.
This is an art museum situated at the foot of Chuarsan Mountain near Boseong in Jeollanam-do Province, 500 meters above sea level. Artist Oh Chi-ho's most well-known work, the seascape Haegyeong, has been reborn here with digital technology. The boat moves and sways each time a wave rolls by it.
I wanted to give and show people a time to stop and think in their busy daily lives, to reflect through landscapes and self-portraits.
Water Falls Down in the Pagyeon Waterfall, a painting by Kyonjae Jongsun, considered master of true landscape painting. The Inwang Taesekdo is also reborn with the blue house added to the drawing. Van Gogh's self-portraits and Joseon-era ink and landscape paintings become three-dimensional and move.
I hope people will enjoy the exhibition and make good memories at the Ujong Museum of Art in Boseong.
South Korea's media art also recently played a part in the Korea Travel Fair held in London, England, to mark the 140th anniversary of diplomatic ties between South Korea and the UK. The world's largest high-resolution LED screen colorfully decorated the cultural space in London.
The floating population here is over 70,000. We had an exhibition here at the Outernet London to showcase works that reinterpret Korea's beautiful landscapes, culture, and art as media art.
Ujong Museum of Art's media art exhibition will be held until the end of August. Jung Eun-ju, Arirang News.
Southern parts of the country will be battered by torrential downpours until tomorrow. As for the amount of rainfall, Jeollado Province will see up to 120 millimeters. Chungcheongdo Province and the surrounding areas will see up to 80. The capital region and parts of Gangwon-do Province can expect up to 60 millimeters. When it starts to rain, heavy downpours may lash some regions. Depending on the movement of the rain clouds, locally heavy downpours of 30 to 60 millimeters per hour are in the forecast. The monsoon season is forecast to end around this Wednesday. That is only if South Korea will not be influenced by the fifth typhoon of the season, Doksuri, which is currently near the Philippines. Keep in mind that this is subject to change. Tomorrow, Seoul will start off at 25 degrees. Other inland regions will be starting off at 24 degrees. And rainy spells will become more widespread by the daytime. Seoul and Chuncheon will get up to 29, Gwangju 30, Gyeongju will be reaching 33 degrees. Until Thursday, frequent showers are expected for the capital region. That's all for now, and here are the weather conditions around the world.
That is all for this Monday night newscast. Thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest news. Hope everyone has a great start of the week.